This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Eiffel TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at CAMDEN Boxing Club, a new facility here in the middle of London. I'm joined by Adam Booth, who I believe is an ambassador for CAMDEN Boxing Club.
True.
Great facility here.
True, and yes.
This is your chance to talk about the club.
No, you're going to speak to Manya. I want Manya to tell you about the club.
We will, but I'm just saying right now I'm speaking to you so you can talk to us a little bit about the club.
Okay, it's Central London gym. Unbelievable space, really impressive. Great size, and it's, it does Central London justice.
Very unbiasedly, this is actually quite a very good gym. We go to gyms obviously every day of our lives, and this is a cross between kind of the modern and not modern, if that makes sense. There's still a little bit of the old, not spit and sawdust, but there's a little bit of the old ways that gyms should be, because I know that that's what you like, and also a little bit of the modern. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it wasn't me, honestly, it was Manya, and I think she spent a lot on architectural fees as well to have it designed. It wasn't, it's sort of a designer spit and sawdust type gym, but it's a great space, and it's a good gym to train as well.
Absolutely. Anyway, how are you?
I'm okay. Now I'm going to try and hold this one together and actually be half serious, but you're going weird on me already.
Right, okay. I like to do this first.
Why has that got a mask on it? Why is that not COVID secure?
It is COVID secure.
No, been on that.
What? You're the first one. You're the first one.
It's
Okay. Let's talk about. I do want to talk to you first of all about Josh Kelly, who was here obviously tonight supporting the CAMDEN boxing event. Can we expect a ring return in the next, I'm going to say, 4 months from Josh Kelly?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. We've been working now for a few months, dealing with the things that needed to be dealt with. We know that he's a talent and a good fighter, but we needed to do a lot of things, not just in the gym but outside the gym, so that he can fulfill his potential and ambition. But you're interviewing me, so I'm answering, but we're just trying to keep our mouths shut for once and let him get back to winning ways. And once we get the ball rolling, which will be in the next 3 or 4 months, then we'll be talking again.
When we look at the weight scene at the moment, it seems like there are a lot of pieces, the likes of obviously Avanesian, Conor, Benn, and all these guys that are being spoken about now. And one thing is missing, it is Josh Kelly, but like I said, you guys are not ready to kind of come out and talk about stuff until Josh is probably mentally ready.
I think he's mentally ready, but the fact is, that we did a lot of talking in the past. There's things that needed to be done. We're doing them. We're just getting on with the job, and then for now, let his performances do the talking for us.
There are people out there that believe that Conor Benn, who's obviously scheduled to a fight with Chris Algieri on the 11th of December, should be fighting David Avanesian now. There are a select few boxing fans out there who, however many there are, that believe that that's a fight. We know there's an offer that's been made from Frank Warren. I think 500 grand's been a touted amount for Avanesian to fight Conor Benn. Is Conor Benn, in your opinion, ready to fight someone like David Avanesian?
Someone like David Avanesian?
Or no.
Specifically. No, I don't think he is, and I think that Conor is being well guided, well managed. Remember, he had no amateur pedigree, and he's made huge strides very quickly, and all he can do as a fighter is answer the questions that are put in front of him, and the people that are guiding his career have to choose the right opponents at the right time. And if they decide not to take the offer for David Avanesian, it's because they know Conor and they know what his progression is. He's not the finished article. I think Avanesian is, and I think he's proven that he is a genuine top 10 ranked welterweight in a stacked division with some real dangerous, competent, high grade champions in it. And so no, Conor Benn is young enough that he should be taking his time and not rushing into it. And I think a step up like Chris Algieri is the perfect type of test for him for now.
With Avanesian, is it a case of low reward, high risk when you fight someone like Evanesian? It's considering Evanesian's age as well.
Not necessarily, because he's European champion. If you become European champion and ranked in the top 10 WBC, that's high reward. But there are over the years there have been European champions that haven't been strong European champions, and others that have been very strong, and he's certainly in the latter bracket.
Let's move on to Harlem Eubank. Why is Harlem Eubank still like a little bit of a under the best kept or worst kept secret in boxing?
When Harlem first came to me, was training, it was obviously he was very novice-like. Struggled to get through 4 rounds of competitive sparring, and we had a conversation very early on that we were going to develop his career off TV, the old school way, where he could become a fighter before taking on the pressure of being under the spotlight, and we kind of stuck to that to a certain extent. He's been on TV a couple of times, but he's developed in the gym incredibly. Most improved fighter for a long time in the gym. He's learned a lot. He understands more. He's had a couple of very good wins for the levels that he's been at, where it is now time for him to show his face, sort of commercially and publicly. He's ready for it. There's a plan for it. That's why we're with Wasserman, Kala and Nissa, and you should be hearing something very soon, because he fought the other week and he'll be fighting again before the end of the year.
Abbas Baru obviously is in action on the 3rd of December, is that correct? Out in Ilsenberg, in Germany. So looking for the next kind of progression of his career.
Yeah, and he's fighting I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of his opponent, but it's a seasoned guy that knows how to look after himself and knows how to compete. And it's a good step for Abbas, because next year for Abbas should be a bit of a breakout year for him in Germany and fighting sort of highly ranked opponents. Abbas is ready for that now, so deal with this job December the 3rd and then look at some big steps for him next year.
Okay. Sharon Coughlin, we know this obviously coming off the back of that defeat to Jamie Mitchell, where she lost her title. What's kind of your assessment of that whole situation? Obviously her losing the title on the scales and obviously losing the fight, etc. She obviously believes she at the time she believed she won the fight, but what was your assessment of that situation as a whole?
Not making weight is not a good sign, never is for any fighter, but it is what it is. With regards to the fight, I thought that Mitchell won it. I thought she won it by 2 or 3 rounds. I said that straight away in the change room afterwards. It's a career, it's boxing, it's fights, people win, people lose. But Jamie Mitchell came in tremendous condition. She was very fit, very competitive, and she'd also, boxed a lot of highly ranked amateurs in her amateur career as well. So she knew what she was about. So it was a real test for Shannon. It was a close fight, but I thought the right person got the decision. As a voluntary defence, Shannon's got the right for a rematch, so she can dust herself off and get back to it how it should be done.
So you believe she can make the adjustments and do what she needs to do in order to win that rematch?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it was a competitive fight. It was a close fight. She got hustled out of it and outworked. So it wasn't a skill thing per se. It was more of a work rate conditioning thing that let her down. And I think that if she learns that lesson, she can write it.
We saw the other female fight you had in your stable, Ellie Scotty move over to Ellie Scotty move over to Shane McGuigan recently. Obviously she had a win last time out, but I mean, listen, you can comment on that situation as much as you want, not about the win but about her moving from your gym to Shane McGuigan as much as you want.
What do I know? I mean, we had a good chat with Ellie. She knew where I was at in the gym and what we had going on, and I guess she felt that she needed either more attention or different attention, and so she decided that that's what she was going to do. I wished her well, and I hope that she fulfills her potential, because she can really fight. She really can.
Purse bids were won by one Edward Hearn and the Zone for Mick Collins' fight with Lee Wood, which everyone's looking forward to. It's the question of where it will take place is the question at the moment. Calls for New York more so than anywhere else, and Belfast and Nottingham, etc. But yeah, I mean, it's a good situation for Mick Collins either way.
Yeah, I think it's, when you look at the winning bid, I think it's a good situation for Lee Wood as well. So kudos to Eddie and the Zone for doing what they did, and I guess it will be the Zone. The Zone will look at probably where they want the subscriptions, and they'll look at the numbers. I think Belfast makes good money. I think Belfast makes better money than Nottingham for that fight, but I think probably New York potentially financially blows them both out the water. And I guess it all depends on where the Zone really want the bang for the buck, so to speak, whether they want to use that to drive something in America or whether they want to do it in the UK. Irrelevant. It's a boxing ring. It's the fight that Mick's won. It's what he's desired his entire boxing life, to be the best in the world amateur and best in the world pro. And it's another step towards that. And it's a great matchup, really is. Lee Wood's an excellent fighter who's seasoned, competent, has been round the block, has come through the tests, seems to be having a new lease of life as well in his last couple of fights. So it's all set up to be a real proper matchup and an exciting fight to be involved in.
I think we hope it's in New York for some reason. Don't know. It's New York.
Another jolly up there.
Have I missed any of your other affiliated fighters out?
Don't think so. I don't know. Go through them.
I don't know.
Who have I got in my gym?
Well, if anyone comes to you in the next however long, then let us know. I do need to ask you about Andy Lee's comments over the last 2 days. It's kind of half thrown you under the bus and half hasn't, regarding his thoughts on where Anthony Joshua should go, should he decide to obviously leave McCracken and go a different way, which is unclear. But he's suggested you as in his words, the perfect and kind of most dynamic matchup that would have the best chance of beating someone like Alexander Usyk. So when you first heard those comments, what were your thoughts first of all?
I actually woke up the other night and I couldn't get back to sleep. So like I picked up my phone and looked at something. Someone had sent me some comedy stuff, and then Andy's brother Ned had sent me an interview and he said, watch it to the end. And I'm watching the interview, I'm thinking, I thought Andy's coming across even more eloquent these days than he has done before in the things he was saying, and then out of nowhere decided to go on a rant and started wanting to tout me for another job. But bless him, like Andy and I have got the most satisfying of friendships, as well as working relationships as well. I think Andy appreciates everything that he and I did together from the moment that he came to the gym, and what we went through together in boxing and what he ended up achieving, and we really did have a great journey together. And I think he respects and appreciates that, and I guess he obviously felt that was his way of expressing his gratitude and belief in me as a coach. Bless him.
All right, so is there any legs in that, or his suggestion?
Look, one thing I've never done as a coach, and I never will do, I won't tout myself out to other fighters. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I've had fighters of mine have been approached.
Because you don't want to disrespect the current trainer?
It's just not what I do. Look, AJ is an established champion, and he's got to do what's best for him. That's it. Andy's throat. You're asking me this question because Andy decided to say something. I've asked you down here to cover the CAMDEN gym, and you're asking me about this situation. It's not my style to talk about other fighters. Rob McCracken's a great coach. There's a lot of good coaches out there. Anthony Joshua's a great fighter, and that's it.
I'm a prick, right?
I think a lot of people know that.
Is this something you would consider if it was put to you? That's the last question I'm going to ask it. Would you consider it if it was put to you?
No, because by answering that question, it will sound like I'm touting myself again. And I've seen your headlines. No comment.
No comment. You aside, how did you kind of judge that, or how do you judge that situation regarding Anthony Joshua and the trainer situation of him going out there? This is with you out of the equation. I'm not asking anything about you.
That's the thing, right? When you don't know the detail of a situation, we live in a society now of uninformed opinions, right? And I don't know Anthony Joshua. I don't know his setup. I don't know his day-to-day. I've never worked with Rob McCracken in the gym. I don't know any of that. They do. So it's for them to decide. When people, I told you a long time ago that I care more about the pattern on the carpet than people's opinions of myself, because I realise that if people don't know what you do day to day, they can't have an opinion on it. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and start passing an opinion on that situation. Rob McCracken's resume speaks for itself, amateur and pro, right? And I've never worked a day with him in the gym. So firstly, I'm not in a position to pass an assessment on that training scenario because I've never worked with either of them. And secondly, my only benchmark to go to is what's the body of work of the coach. You've got a professional and amateur coach that's had world championship success repeatedly as a professional and Olympic gold medal success in the amateurs. So you show me someone that's got a resume that matches that or tops that, then ask them their opinion, only if they know the situation of the workings.
I'm surprised over the years, because I think I asked you the question a few years ago about why kind of you've got your fighters that you've worked with for however long, but it's not reluctant, but you'll only work with someone that if you think it makes sense for that fighter and yourself, because you don't just take on anyone, do you, in general, whether it's a heavyweight or whoever?
No, but I've also taken on fighters and worked with them and it hasn't worked out. I've done that, and I've worked with fighters where it really has worked out, and that's just life of a coach. Not everyone can work with everyone, and I guess that's how I am, and that's how I'll always be, stuck in my ways.
Well, I think you're the best coach in the world.
Why did he laugh when you say that?
Correct. I don't know. Why don't you ask him?
Get your head out the phone. Why did you laugh like that? I mean, I'm not saying I agree with him, but I take slight umbrage to your reaction. No comment. Typical cameraman, eh?
We taught him well. But if I was going to become a fighter at 40 years old, I would definitely have you train me.
Are you only 40?
You're older than me.
I know I am.
Got
a long paper round behind that microphone, isn't it?
Absolutely. Okay, well, listen, I appreciate your questions on that, and it's not really...
My questions, they were your questions.
My questions, sorry.
I appreciate your questions.
I appreciate my questions on that, but what I'm saying to you is I appreciate the fact that you're only answering them because basically Andy Lee threw you under the bus 2 days ago.
No, Andy Lee's not here with a microphone asking me questions, you are.
No, but I'm here, so...
I asked you here to cover this incredible new...
And we're going to finish on CAMDEN Boxing Club.
Mania on you.
Please don't. Just to finish off, just had a look around. I got given a great tour today of CAMDEN Boxing Club, and it's a fantastic facility. Can we become members here, or what's the crack?
Mania, KUGAN wants free membership.
Let's see there. See you later, Mania.
If you're going to charge me...
It's a numbers business. She wants to see how many clicks you get before she answers that.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Bye.
You answered it perfectly, it's fine. You answered it perfectly.
But he will pay whatever my tab is every month.
Really? Will you pay for his?
Did you tell it?
He definitely doesn't pay here.
Can we get out that you asked for the peach tie-dye female cut T-shirt?
Absolutely. If she wants to drop in on here.
This is a bespoke T-shirt.
All right, this is going south.
They can't hear you. That's why it's going south. If you wanted to drift in.
This is going. Don't let me tread on your turf.
We're going to do a little gym. Raz, we're going to do a gym tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Try not to tut behind the camera while you're going around with it. Be a bit more positive about it.
He took that so personal. When I said he was the best coach in the world, I mean that.
He laughed again. Look, you said it twice. Look, he laughed a second time.
Best coach in the world, which is why we have him. Yeah, Adam.
There we go.
We have quite a bit.
Ask him
banter.
who's a better coach.
Who's the best coach?
Adam.
Raz, go on. You're put on the spot now.
Who's the best coach
In the country.
Coach.
in the country? I'm not a professional athlete to make that decision.
But from a outsider point of view, who would you say was the best coach overall in the UK?
One right answer is.
Why is that a thing anyway?
I know,
What's the measurement for the best coach? I don't understand. Valid point.
What is the measurement
My answer. Come on,
of a good coach?
What is a good
Most coaches in the UK have world champions or had world champions.
Not all.
Most.
Quite.
He said
No,
most.
I'd say
Most of the
10% do.
Set him some homework, for Christ's sake.
I'd say
Set him some
10% do.
homework. Tell you what, you've got him on the right side of the microphone, that's for sure.
Do you want to offer an alternative to Adam Booth? Because I'm fully going out and
I do
saying
too, and you know
you
what?
are the best coach in the world.
We only do the best here.
Well, hang on a second.
which
Hang on a
is
second.
why
Why are
we
you
have
smirking?
Adam.
I don't. I'm feel
I've
like,
said it for years. If I was a young, naive boxer, I'd go with you as well.
naive. Do you remember? Don't you remember Boxing for Dummies?
Yes, I remember Boxing for Dummies. It's still on there. It's still on there, mate.
Is it still
We
there?
never deleted it. Razza got out of this. Adam Booth, thank you very much for talking to IFL
Thank you
TV.
for coming down off your lofty perch to come and see little old me for
We're
once.
bigging up Camden Boxing Club here on Kentish Road,
Kentish Town Road,
Kentish Town Road,
number 47.
number 47. Turn up here. Booth 25 gets you a 25% discount off nothing. But you can quote it. You can quote it when you come here. It'd be quite funny if people do.
Is that real?
What?
Is that what's real?
You know me. Is it real? You know me. Is it real?
Oh, it's a Rolex. It says Rolex on it.
Is it? It says Bolex on it. Blind. Adam, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and yeah, wish you the best of luck with your upcoming fights, and we're sure we'll catch up with you again soon. Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Don't be a stranger.
I'm not a stranger.
Don't be a stranger.
I'm always here. I never went anywhere.
Anyway. Manya Kugan. Roll on.
Thank you.